November 9, Echo, Victor, Sierra. Eat vegetable soup.
EVS, Roger, sir, and what's the name there?
EVS, Roger, sir, and what's the name there?
The name here is Dan, Delta Alpha November, and we're located in southern Indiana, about 30 miles north of Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, Roger. Well, gosh, let me, why don't you give me about 15 seconds to tell me about your antenna system. Let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger. About 35 feet at the apex there, and the ends are approximately 12 to 15 feet off the ground there, and I'm running a little Yaesu 710, and I just got a desk mic for it, and I just want to know if the audio's okay.
Well, gosh, I got you on my local antenna now, and you're about 20 over. So I'm up around Louisville. I'm just across the river, the Ohio River at Louisville. I'm on the Indiana side. Roger?
Oh, Roger. You down in Clarksville, Jeffersonville area?
Roger, New Albany, and I can see downtown Louisville from where I am. Roger?
Oh, Roger. No wonder you're so strong there. We was listening to you talk to the other gentleman there, and when he widened up his transmit, he really sounded good.
Yes, sir. A lot of folks don't realize how important that TVW adjustment is, but to me, it's the head of the class. The first thing I want to do is to make sure that the operator is running that transmitter in the widest mode possible, and that's 100 to 2900. So, would you have an adjustment on your radio for that TVW, Roger?
Oh, Roger. Yeah. Mine set at 300 and 2700 there. Seems like that fits my voice according to some of my friends on 03 on 75 meters.
Roger. I sure would suggest coming up to 2900 on your top end, so you're not losing intelligibility. That's what happens when you run it in those lesser modes. You start rolling off the articulation aspects of the microphone. And that is like if you're in heavy QRM or you're contesting or whatever. When you start losing articulation, you get you're left in the crowd. So you want to be as articulated as you can be, and that's why we suggest 2900. Now, but on the other hand, you could go up to 3000 on that top end. But the problem is, when you go past 2900, you're more than likely to start to drop into somebody else's conversation. So what we suggest is 100 to 2900, and that gives you just a slice of daylight, like I say, before you're into somebody else's yard.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, this is a fairly new radio, so I'll have to get back in the book and see how the settings go in it there, so it probably take me a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Your audio level sounds really good, looks really good. You're about 3 dB dynamic range, which is 80 to 85% average peak modulation. Like I say, it could use a little more articulation if you could... I don't know exactly how wide, when you go to that 2900, it's going to brighten you up a little bit, but you might need a little more brightening beyond that. I'm not real sure. I just can't say. I know when you go to 2900, you will brighten up a little bit over 2700, but you may need to go a little bit more on treble boost after that also, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Okay. I have it, I've been listening in the monitor, and it sounds kind of like me, but I'll open it up a little bit more, but it's probably won't get to do it until later tonight.
Yes, sir. Just make note, and when you can do that, that's all an EQ thing. Your volume and dynamic range is good at 3 dB. Everything looks good, except just needs a little more articulation on the treble control. And the ideal frequency for that is 2.7K. I don't know if you have an adjustable equalizer, but 2.7K is the ideal frequency to push for that treble. If you don't have an adjustable treble frequency range, then I would use a combination of 2K and 4K. 4K I would run maybe 4 clicks hotter than where it is, and 2K maybe 2 clicks hotter than where it is, and you just make a compromise between 4 and 2 to make 2.7.
Okay, I'm taking notes here.
Yes, sir. I think that would do it. Your bottom end sounds really good. Not a bunch heavy, but I'm listening on a 7300, which has a bottom end receive down to 100 cycles, and you sound good all the way down. I would run that, just like it is. I'm assuming, and it sounds like that your mid-range is flat, which is what we're looking for. The whole idea behind a equalizer is to strike a balance between the treble to mid-range and the bass to mid-range. And if you push the mid-range, then it's so much harder for the treble and bass to strike a compromise. So you need to have a flat mid-range, and the mid-range is like 400 cycles to 1.5 K if you have a multi-frequencied equalizer. Roger.
Oh, Roger. Well, I really appreciate the information there, and I will get into this later on tonight, and once I get the book back out, and I do have a bunch of equalizer settings in there, so that would be interesting to see what happens when I do that.
Roger that. And also, if I'm not real sure about that radio, but some radios, if you have the compressor on, then you may have a separate set of P controls for your equalizer. So you have to be sure your equalizer is turned on, and then just adjust the P controls for equalization. They relate to the compressor processor. So you'll have to you'll have to see if you have a separate bank of EQ controls that relate to the having the compressor on. These would be called P somethings. Roger.
Roger. Yeah, I do have a separate set of equalizers for the processing mode and the non-processing mode. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir. So the main thing is that you make sure that that equalizer is turned on, because I've had the experience of making a lot of equalization doing nothing because the equalizer switch was turned off. So you want to make sure that equalizer switch is turned on, and then you're in the if you have the compressor on or the processor on, and we do suggest a 3 for that compressor processor, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled, but just a third of that compressor processor. And since it's on, then you'll be on the P controls. Roger.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, I'm still taking notes here. So I think my processor equalizer is on. I just looked at that, and my processor is set at 7 right now.
Roger. Well, what happens is when you go past 3, you start getting suck up between words, and that doesn't do you any good, because you want to 3 and a 6 are the same, because for as far as working just on the word, A 3 and a 6 are the same, except the 6 gives you suck up between words, which doesn't do you any good. So I just suggest a 3, Roger.
Okay, I got it. I'll reset it to 3 there. Okay, thank you. I think you have another gentleman in there, so I'll clear for right now and let you take care of that. And while I'm straightening out my notes here, I really appreciate it. November 9, Echo Victor Sierra. Let you tie the ribbon on it.
Roger, Roger, Dan. Well, gosh, if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That'll take you to our Qso-Vlog page. This will be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73, Dan, and we'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.